There's lots to say about God of War, as it does an interesting mashup between close references to the Norse mythology and hints to legends from other cultures. I'll only cover the main points and characters in this episode, but as you can expect, that means spoilers. In God of War, Freya is a witch living in the woods, in a house placed on the back of a tortoise. The world resting on the back of a turtle or a tortoise is a mythical trope. You can find it in Iroquois or Delaware myths, for example. And a witch having a moving house with animal legs is also quite common. This time look towards Russia, with Baba Yaga and her chicken-legged hut. This being said, the Norse Freya never lived in a hut with legs, tortoise or otherwise, although she is a witch and known for her magical powers. So this is borrowing from other mythologies, not doing anything specific to Norse culture. The first time you meet Freya, Atreus has just wounded a golden boar. She heals it and says it's the last of its kind. Freya and her brother Frey have a strong link to boars. Frey owns the magical gold boar Gullinbursti, who pulls his chariot, and Freya has a boar who was her lover. She changed him into an animal to keep him under control. So it's actually quite authentic to have her save a boar here. In this game, Freya has taken on a lot of Frigg's characteristics. For one thing, she's Odin's wife. Now, although the two goddesses have been confused in the past, and may have been only one goddess to begin with, still technically Freya is Odr's wife, where Frigg is Odin's. Also, Baldur is Frigg's son, not Freya's. Talking about Baldur, in the original myths, Baldur is immortal because Frigg has asked every item in the world to swear not to harm him. But when she went around the world, she decided not to ask a branch of mistletoe because the sapling was too small and she felt it was too young to swear such a solemn oath. Baldur, instead of keeping his immortality quiet, went straight to the other gods to brag. He asked them to hit him with their best shot, which they did. They had a lot of fun realizing no spear could pierce him, no blade could cut his skin, even Mjolnir couldn't crush his bones. In God of War, they add the fact that Baldur can no longer feel empathy nor pain, but that's not said in the Norse myths. So how does Baldur die? Well, in God of War, Atreus wounds him with an arrow of mistletoe, removing both his curse and his immortality. In the original myths, Baldur has a blind brother, Hollander. Loki sidled up to Hollander and asked him if he wanted to join the fun around trying out weapons on his brother. Yeah, the gods had strange kicks. Anyway, Hollander said that he couldn't, on account of not being able to see. Loki offered to help. He could guide Hothar's bow so his arrow aimed at Baldur, and Hothar could try shooting at his brother. But Loki consciously chose an arrow made out of mistletoe, as it hadn't sworn the oath. Hothar shot his brother and killed him. By the time the gods turned round to face down Baldur's murderer, Loki was long gone. Which brings me to Loki, which is revealed at the end of the game to be the true name of Atreus. Him wounding Baldur with a bow and arrow is a great heads up to the original legend. Faye, Loki's mother, turns out to be a Jotun, which means Loki is half giant, half god. Well, lots of people believe Loki is a half-blood, but actually he's a full giant. This being said, he was Odin's blood brother and close to the Aesir community. There isn't a big gap between both races anyway. Tyr's father is maybe a giant, Odin's parents are definitely giants, Freya is a Vanir, Frey marries a Jotun. All in all, people don't care that much. But here's an interesting piece of info, although it hasn't got much to do with Norse myths. In Greek mythology, there are two families which are doomed to end in blood, death and tragedy. The House of Labdakos, where you find people like Oedipus and Antigone, and, you've guessed it, the House of Atreus. In the Greek myths, Atreus' children will all die and kill each other, and you get a series of Greek tragedies all the way down to Electra. So let's just say that Atreus is maybe better off being called Loki, after all. At the end of the game, you find a wall on which the giants have predicted everything that will happen. It isn't clear in the original myths who knows about the end of the world first, but it's possible that the Aesir got the information off the Jotun. In any case, they get it off a woman, who could be represented by Faye here. In the Poetic Edda, you find two pieces, the Völuspá and Baldsdraumr. In the first, a seeress predicts all the events that will happen at Ragnarök. In the second, the seeress Odin asks questions to is definitely a giantess. While we're on foreseeing Ragnarök, the game finishes with the start of Fimbulvetr. Fimbulvetr is a 3-year-long winter which precedes Ragnarök, so not good news for Kratos and Loki. I'll leave you on these good news for our main characters. I hope you liked this mini episode. There was a lot more to say than I thought. I haven't even had a chance to start on the dwarves, Mimir and the monsters. Hopefully I'll get time to do another myth-busting episode and chat about all of those. See you soon!